Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. So maybe a month back somebody had requested me for a video on ECHEVERIA frills. Now guys, there are a lot of succulents in the variety of frills. We have our very common one, which is the ECHEVERIA neon breaker. And then there are so many. Now most of these frills were created by Mr. Dick, right? He's the one who creates a lot of these hybrids. If you remember, I had made a video on raindrops and then how those succulents had got mutated. If you haven't watched that video, I'll put the link in the description below. You can check it out. Now I don't have a lot of frill succulent varieties. These are the only two, or probably one more that I have. I'm not a very big fan, but a lot of people do love these varieties. And by the end of the video, you'll realize why I don't keep this particular variety of frills in my collection. Now, I'm not very sure about the names. I think this could be the New Heights hybrid, because most of the frills are hybrids. So I think this could be probably Heart's Delight or New Heights. I'm not very sure, but overall what I would say is frills are very delicate succulents. They are very delicate succulents, be it when it comes to watering, when it comes to sunlight, pest issues, getting acclimated in the new environment. That is one of the reasons why they are very fragile and very delicate. Apart from all this, the issue with them is watering. You have to be extremely careful with watering. You can see the leaves are very thin. They can easily get dehydrated or they can easily get overwatered. That is one issue with them. Apart from that, if you belong to an environment which is very humid and very hot, again that is also going to damage your frills succulent. As I said, there are a lot of them. These are just two of them. Probably there could be thousands of more varieties, and every time there is a new hybrid that comes up in the market. Now, if you think watering was the only issue, you are wrong. There is another major reason with frills, and that is powdery mildew. As soon as you have the transition from winter to summer, that small little period in between is wherein this succulent gets affected with powdery mildew. As compared to any other succulent, I have seen frills get affected a lot. Let's say out of 10 times, 9 times, these are the succulents that do get affected with powdery mildew. And we all know powdery mildew is one of the most dangerous type of fungal infection. It tends to spread really fast. The moment you notice it, immediately isolate the plant. Even if you see a small little spot of powdery mildew on your leaves, immediately isolate it and then you can treat the plant. I have made a video on it. I will put that link as well in the description below. You can check it out, how to treat powdery mildew. So fungal attack, watering, these are the two major issues. Apart from that, they require a good amount of light. If you're not going to provide them a good amount of light, they will not perform very well. They will start getting stretched. They require a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. They need an environment that is very dry, that is very cool. Too much of heat, too much of humidity, that will again start to damage the plant. Do not use a lot of fertilizers for this plant. That will again aggravate the plant in getting this fungal issues. Pest issues, mealybugs are another cause for this plant to get affected. So you can see there are going to be a lot of problems. So if you are a beginner, or if you are a person who lives in a very high humid environment wherein the heat is too much, then please avoid getting this succulent. Or probably if you are a beginner, you're just getting into succulents, you can probably keep this particular variety of succulent for later on. If you want to get succulents with bumps, you want to get succulents with frills, then I can offer you two options. One is raindrops. Raindrops are succulents with bumps, as you can see on the image. They are very easy as compared to any other frills that I've noticed. The second type is the neon breaker, but again with neon breaker, mealybugs are major issue. Either it gets root mealies or it tends to get mealies in the crown area. It prefers a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. Only then the frills are going to look amazing. The color is going to look amazing. If you are a person who does not receive a lot of direct sunlight, then the colors will not be very evident. It is not going to be very intense on the succulent. So for all the frills, morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours is very important, or indirect bright light which has a very good intensity. Anything above 3000 lux is going to work out really well. If you are keeping it in a place, ensure that there is a good amount of air circulation, because if you do not have a good amount of air circulation or airflow around the succulent, powdery mildew is one of the issue that you're going to face with this succulent. So be extremely careful. If you are buying this variety, ensure you're keeping it in a very well lit area where there is a good amount of air circulation, where there is a good amount of airflow. The moment you see that there is some kind of infection on the plant, immediately stop fertilizing your plants. Please do not add any fertilizers, because right now these belong to the genus of Echeveria, so of course they will be getting into their growing season, and a lot of people tend to add fertilizers. So that is where you have to be extremely careful. Whenever there is any kind of fungal infection, whenever there is any kind of pest attack, you have to immediately stop adding of fertilizers ASAP. Do not add anything, because by adding fertilizers you are going to promote the pest issues or the fungal attack even more. Always remember, fungal attack will happen if the soil has a lot of organic matter, so that is something that you have to be very careful. Cut down on the feeding. Watering also has to be reduced a little bit, because if the soil is very damp, again that is also going to promote the fungal infection or the fungal growth. So you have to be extremely careful. So as you can see, these are the couple of issues with frills. I am not a very big fan of frills, not because they don't look that great. Of course they look amazing. I do have a lot of succulents that do have bumps, but when it comes to these frills kind of succulents, I tend to keep them in a very minimum number, because I do not want to have an issue. Probably tomorrow I might keep it somewhere and I forget about it, and then it develops, powdery mildew. That is going to affect all of my collection, so I have to be extremely careful. Anyways, I tend to keep my frills far away from all of the other succulents, just to be on the safer side. Is just for precaution that I tend to keep them away. It's not that they will get powdery mildew, but just to be on the safer side, I try to keep them far away from my other succulents, because I do not want any kind of error to happen. So this is all what happens with the frills. Now it's up to you. If you are from a dry, cooler environment, you can definitely opt for it. Keep a watch on your watering. Keep it in a place where there is a good amount of airflow. Reduce the organic matter in the soil, and trust me, it is going to do quite well. But experience does matter. If you are a beginner, just hold on to it. As I said, you have other two options. Raindrops and neon breakers are the two succulents that you can add. They are quite forgiving succulents, so you can probably add them in your collection. But the rest of the frills, you can just hold on to it. Once you get a good amount of experience, probably then you can add them in your collection. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.